Let's return now to Amany Soliman in Beijing. She's an associate professor of international relations at Alexandria University. Amany, let's talk about Donald Trump's role in all this. We know he's been very proactive in calling on the sides to agree to this deal. He's essentially putting his credibility on the line as to whether or not this deal will last. How important do you think was Trump's input in all this?
I think it's very important. First of all, President Trump was shocked with the Israeli attack on Qatar about a month ago. And because he just returned from the Middle East, having a very good deals done with the Qataris and other Gulf countries. So for him, and he announced this, the attack on Qatar was not accepted by any means. At the same time, Trump is trying to put himself in the picture of, number one, someone who can do what Biden couldn't do, and number two, as a man who deserves to be a Nobel Peace Prize laureate. So for him, he just put all kinds of pressure on Netanyahu and his administration to get the deal done. Maybe, and I'm not optimistic about reaching a permanent peace deal for Gaza, but if you now look at what he has suggested in his 20 points, and you compare this to what he said in the beginning of his term when he was talking about Riviera in Gaza, and where he doesn't care for ethnically cleansing the Palestinians out of their land or transferring them maybe to neighboring countries. Now it's completely different. He's talking about a future for Gaza. So I think the man really put effort to first understand what's happening there, then to think of it as a great opportunity for him to write his name in history as a man who's not just doing, according to his perception, great things for America, but also for the world.
Let's look beyond the first phase of the deal, Amany, because we know that the ultimate aim of this peace agreement is the long-term sustainability of peace in Gaza and perhaps the wider region. How realistic is that prospect in your view, according to this 20-point plan? Are you confident that we will see a longer-lasting peace in Gaza and perhaps in the wider region?
I don't think that all of the 20 points can be sustained, and Hamas already declared that many of these points are not accepted for it, like the International Committee to run the Strip per se. They didn't like that. And also handling their weapons to an international committee. They also said, no, if we ever did this, it will be to an Arab committee, maybe Egyptians, Jordanians, Qataris, whoever. So I don't think that even now the 20 points that all of them are going to be accepted. So how come for them to be like a basis for long-term peace? Also, there are other players on the ground. It's not just Hamas and Israel, sir. How about the Palestinian Authority? How about other jihadi organizations in Gaza and in Palestine in general? We always forget that there are other parties involved. And for dreaming of a lasting and permanent peace deal in Gaza, we have to ask ourselves about what is going to happen in Israel, what kind of politics is going to be played inside the cabinet and the current coalition. And we have also to think about all the Palestinian parties involved. I have just listened to Nabila Bourdaina, the spokesperson for the head of the Palestinian Authority, President Abu Mazen, and he was saying that nothing is going to happen without the legitimate authority in the Palestinian state, which is Fatah, to first agree to what is happening. So what we are seeing now is a ceasefire. Maybe long-lasting ceasefire, hopefully, between the Israelis and Hamas. But talking about permanent peace requires the acceptance, the engagement of many other parties in Palestine, in Israel, and in the region.
And for many years, Amany, it's been accepted that a permanent peace can only be achieved when there's a permanent independent Palestinian state. And we know that there has been growing momentum behind this idea of a two-state solution, especially after a number of Israel's Western allies declared their support for an independent Palestinian state. Do you think we are closer to achieving the two-state solution?
Unfortunately, no, because the Palestinian Authority promised to organize elections in Palestine, both the West Bank and Gaza, just 1 month after a long-term ceasefire. But I don't think that the situation will allow them to do so. Also, the components of the Palestinian Authority itself, the segments of it, the administration there, is not ready for the moment to form a real government that can run the coming days, especially with the, hopefully, reconstruction plan for Gaza. So the two-state solution, if accepted by Israel and backed by the Americans, might happen, but not in the near future. The important thing is to keep the promise alive. The important thing is never to give up on the self-determination and the independent state of the Palestinians. But to give promises that this is something that is going to happen in the coming month or few years, I don't think is valid. It will just stay a promise, something that is morally like a moral obligation to all countries of the world to guarantee that one day there will be a Palestinian state, but I don't see it feasible in the coming few months or years.
As you pointed out, the US president's views on Gaza has changed quite markedly over the last 2 years. He went from saying that the US should seize control of the enclave and, as you say, turn it into a Riviera of the Middle East to this peace plan that notionally allows for some sort of self-determination of the enclave. Do you believe that he truly believes that Palestinians should be in control of Gaza?
No, I think he thinks that Palestinians should be like safe in Gaza, but they should be monitored by an international committee. And he talked about this and even suggested names like the ex-prime minister of the UK, Tony Blair. So I don't think that he trusts the Gazan people enough to be like the Palestinians in Gaza to be like ruling themselves. But I think he wants to see it like calm, but the guarantee for him is an international committee, which is something I don't think that the Palestinians would accept. So maybe the midway solution, if accepted by the Palestinians and the Israeli, would be like a regional committee to run the strip maybe for the coming years by Egyptians, Jordanians, Qataris, Turkish politicians. We will see about that. But I don't think that Trump, for the time being, trusts the Palestinians to run the strip on their own.
Okay, Amany Soliman, we'll leave it there for now. Thank you again for joining us.